Welcome to our channel, the fastest and most complete update of sensational secrets and shocking developments in the famous TV series The Young and the Restless. If you are a fan of unexpected shocks, unpredictable twists, and complex relationships between powerful families, you have come to the right place. Today, we will reveal a secret that no one could have expected, a truth that has been hidden for decades, now rising and threatening to change the entire order of Genoa City. Victoria is not Victor's biological daughter, but the result of a secret relationship between Nikki and Paul in the past. Let's explore this secret in detail and the unpredictable consequences that are quietly rising behind it. It all started with the secret investigation of Dumas, a mysterious character who has a deep hatred for Victor. Dumas, a businessman who had failed because of a ruthless takeover by Victor, had been hiding in the shadows for years, harboring rage and a thirst for revenge. While infiltrating the Newman family's financial and relationship networks, he accidentally discovered a DNA sequence related to Victoria. His initial suspicions were quickly confirmed by testing results from an independent laboratory. Victoria was not related to Victor by blood. Instead, the genetic sample was a perfect match to someone completely different, Paul. This information exploded like a bomb in the heart of Genoa City. Victoria was completely devastated. She had spent her whole life trying to prove that she was worthy of being the rightful and strongest successor to Victor, a man who had always placed heavy pressure on her in terms of leadership, loyalty, honor, and courage. Not only does she fight outside rivals, but she also often confronts her father in the power struggle at Newman Enterprises. Now, everything she believed in, her fatherly love, her pride, her anger, and her desire for acceptance, is gone. Her heart is broken, and her identity is buried under the rubble of a harsh truth. Victor, who prided himself on his power and control, feels torn from reality. Not only has he lost his role as Victoria's biological father, but he also feels betrayed by the wife he loves, Nikki. For years, he believed that Victoria was the crystallization of his love for Nikki, proof that the Newman bloodline would continue to exist. This discovery sends him into a deep identity crisis. Not only that, he was so angry that he began to have people trace all of her medical records, personal diaries, and even vague memories from over 30 years ago. Nikki, the central character of the case, was forced to face the past she had tried to bury. When she was young, she had a conflicted relationship with Paul during her separation from Victor. That fateful night, full of passion and confusion, led to a consequence Nikki could not have expected: she became pregnant. In fear, in the pressures of social status and the desire to ensure the child's future, Nikki chose to remain silent. She let Victor believe that the child was his, a calculated choice but also filled with pain. Paul, when he learned the truth, was extremely shocked. He had felt a deep and vague attachment to Victoria, but had never thought of a blood relationship. Now the truth is like a knife tore through his heart. Paul had no intention of taking over the role of father, but he wanted to make amends, even unintentionally, by protecting Victoria from further harm. However, this sudden closeness only made Victoria more confused. She felt as if all the men in her life, from Victor, Nicholas, Paul, to even her romantic relationships, were just masks. Fake frames forcing her to live up to other people's expectations. Adam, Victoria's half-brother, seized the opportunity like a predator seeing its prey wounded. All his life, he had been overlooked, excluded from major decisions, and treated as an outsider in the Newman household. Now that Victoria was no longer Victor's biological child, Adam asserted his position as the sole legitimate heir. He quietly gathered support from shareholders, created his own power within Newman Enterprises, and planned to completely remove Victoria from the corporation. Nicholas was the only one who stood by Victoria unconditionally. Although they did not share a father, their brotherhood was built from childhood, through many storms, and for Nicholas, blood did not change that. He became Victoria's only support when everything was falling apart around her. At the same time, Nicholas also began to doubt those around him, especially Dumas. No one knew that Dumas was not just revealing secrets for the sake of the truth. He was also carrying out a larger plan, a plot to completely overthrow the Newman family. By dividing the family, revealing secrets, sowing suspicion and hatred, Dumas was slowly turning Victor into a lonely emperor, with no one left loyal, no one left to trust. Meanwhile, a shadow from the past suddenly returns. Jordan is now allied with an unlikely person, Martin, a man who was thought to be dead, who turns out to be posing as Alan to get close to Tracy. Martin possesses a secret medical file, revealing that the DNA sample used in Victoria's initial test was switched. And the person behind this switch is none other than Claire, Victoria's seemingly harmless niece, but in fact a pawn in Jordan's long-term plot. Martin and Jordan not only want to expose the truth about Victoria, but also want to completely destroy the Newman family, from honor to property. They begin to approach each weak link, seducing Adam with the promise of absolute power, threatening Nikki with recordings from the past, and manipulating public opinion with fake news, in order to completely isolate Victor from the business community. Meanwhile, Claire begins to approach Harrison, Kyle's son, to sow unrest in the Abbott family, creating a rift between Genoa City's two great families. Just as things seem to be spiraling out of control, Victoria suddenly disappears. No one knows where she went. Rumors spread that she has gone to Europe to investigate Paul's past, and some even say that she is secretly collaborating with Ashley to form a new corporation, completely separate from Newman Enterprises. Victoria's disappearance makes Victor even more desperate, and Nicholas begins his own search. But what he discovers is even more terrifying. A shadow organization is funding Jordan and Martin, with the goal of destroying all the elite corporations in America. Everything has now gone beyond the boundaries of a family secret. It has become a life-and-death battle between forces, where love, honor, and even survival are all on the table. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any shocking developments in the future. Even bigger secrets are waiting to be revealed. And the power struggle at Genoa City has only just begun.